Hello, everyone, and welcome back to, excuse me, another Facebook Live series. Today we're going to be talking about the tools your staff need to meet their deadlines. So if you are here, say hello in the comments. And we'll get started in about 2 minutes. So again, those of you that are coming in, say hello in the comments section. And while you're saying hi, tell me what are some of the common deadlines that your staff keep missing? Like, is it newsletters? Is it only by big events? Like, when is it that your staff are consistently just missing specific deadlines that they need to meet? And you're looking for these tools to help them meet their deadlines. All right, got people coming in here. Let's see who's here. Hi, Evelyn. And Brenda's here. Hey, Brenda. Saw your post today in the Inner Circle. That was awesomeness. Paula's here. Hi, Paula. And Chris and Devora. Hi, Devora. So glad you made it live. And Vanessa. So Paula says coming on time for staff meetings. Okay. Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Anyone else? Tell me, first of all, if you're here, say hi. And second of all, let me know in the comments, what is that thing that your staff keep not meeting in a specific deadline? So Paula is saying coming on time for staff meetings. Brenda says programming and her newsletters. Lacey's here. Hey, what's up? So many familiar faces. So tell me, what are the deadlines that they're not meeting? And then we're going to dive into some strategy. I'm going to give one more minute for people to show up. Hyla, hi. This is so nice. So many new people are here. That's awesome. Okay, so edit posts, forget to post them on the class chat. We tried setting alarms, but they're not helping. Okay, awesome, Devorah, thanks, being super specific. Lacey says, anything I ask for that involves a paper. I have to remind them over and over to get it done. Even things that are routine, some teachers are ready, but then we have those that are always unprepared. Okay, so I want to give you guys, all right, thanks so much for the context. And for those of you that are coming in, again, you could just say hi and let me know if you are having staff that are specifically struggling to meet a specific deadline, and where's the, the frustration in that. So I want to give you guys a little bit of context as far as like meeting deadlines, okay? Teachers, intrinsically by who they are, how they're hardwired, just their biological makeup, that are specifically in early childhood, are made up of people that are warm, loving, caring, a lot of times really creative, very carefree kind of people. That's what attracts them to the job, okay? It's a very different kind of person that's attracted to sitting on the floor and playing with kids and being okay with people sneezing on them and wiping their noses on them and taking them to the bathroom 30 times a day and talking to their parents and doing all kinds of things like that. Like, breaking a concept down, like that's just a completely different kind of person than wants to go into corporate, that wants to go into insurance or wants to make $1 million or any of that kind of stuff. It's fundamentally a different person, completely. So just let me know in the chat box if you resonate with the fact that early childhood teachers are wired in a very different way than people that are going into corporate or starting their own business or entrepreneurs or just different types of professions. So again, you could just give a thumbs up, a like, or just let me know that you're following along before I continue. So Hannah says, hey, first of all, hi, good to see you. Our policy is that teachers are expected to check their work email before the start of their day. Some still will go a few days at a time without checking their work email. Okay. So again, my question was, let me know if you feel that early childhood teachers are wired differently or just made up from a different mold, from different Play-Doh. Yes, so even from elementary teachers, early childhood teachers are so different. Now go into a completely different field and niche and completely different department. Yeah, you're going somewhere completely different. Jennifer's here. Hey, nice to see you, Jennifer. Looking forward to talking this week. Yes, they absolutely are. Yeah, definitely. Good qualities also come with struggling. Of course. Hello, who has the perfect package? No one. So yeah, so now that we understand that they're wired differently, they're fundamentally just different people, okay? We also have to understand that with every single package, with every single great quality, there's a package that comes with that, okay? And someone that is typically this warm and loving and nurturing kind of person and creative and just is so ready to go with like the flow of different things that are happening and kids are crying in this and they're responsible for so many things, they're not going to be that great at executive functioning skills, which is a much higher form of performance, of execution, of time management, of building their skill set in that area. It's not a place where they focus. If you think about where a teacher focuses her time and energy, even in her downtime, is she's browsing through Pinterest looking for more creative ideas. She's chatting with her friends about the latest loose parts and provocations that they put out. She's typically spending her time in a completely different world. And so the concept of like being a high performer and actually like submitting things on time and being responsible and just doing things like that don't really typically come up in her radar a lot. Those are not books that she takes out of the library. Those are not articles that she's reading. Those are not podcasts that she listens to. They're not conversations that she typically has with her friends on the weekends, going out for drinks, out to dinner. Those are not conversations that they have, okay? Listen to conversations of preschool teachers. I've been out to restaurants and I've sat next to groups of preschool teachers. My God, they do not talk about that kind of stuff. Let me tell you that much. And so if we start to understand the patterns of what are the teachers talking about, what are they spending their time listening to, what are they searching on the web, what books are they taking out of the library, none of this kind of stuff. So it's no wonder that they're having such a hard time struggling in specific areas like meeting deadlines, okay? So as good teachers as they may be connecting with children, I find they need to communicate effectively with adults. Yeah, for sure. That, you know, totally comes along in that way. And Paula says maybe that's why documentation is so challenging. Yeah, they're not really doing enough research and they're not understanding it so much as well either. But that's a totally separate topic. I'm not gonna get into that now. But just going back, sorry, I just lost my train of thought for a second. So going back to what I was just saying before, where the teachers are putting their effort, their time, and their energy is not in these kinds of areas. And so, of course, they're going to struggle a little bit in this area. And the reason I'm bringing this context in and just giving you insight in this is because I want you to understand that it's not that the teacher is, you know, consistently delivering something late because she wants to deliver something late. It's not fundamentally part of her makeup. And so it's really, really difficult, okay? So I'm gonna share just a story just to illustrate that before I give you one of the strategies. So I have a really good friend. And we're very, very, very similar in a lot of different ways. And one of the ways that we're really similar is that being on time is so fundamentally part of our makeup that we hold it as this badge of honor. It's not always a good thing. Again, with every great thing is also the flip side of like where it could be damaging for family and friends and close people if you're always obsessive with coming on time. But one of the things is that we were talking about missing flights. And she was like, I can't imagine ever missing my flight. Like, that's not me. I would never miss a flight. And it was so funny because I started laughing. I'm like, oh my God, I'm the exact same way. Like, I can never imagine having that as like part of my history that like I missed a flight because I came late. So we were just like just laughing about it and stuff like that. And anyways, she was going with a friend. They went away for the holiday, and basically she was down to this friend and they were, going together, and they missed their flight because the friend was late and she just couldn't get her act together. And my really good friend was, they were together, they were taking a cab together, everything was together, and she couldn't get her to move fast enough. And she messaged me like 20 minutes after the plane took off, and she's like, I missed the flight. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. You must feel like garbage right now. Like you must feel horrible. And she was just like, she was seriously crying. She's like, I don't miss flights. This is not me. I don't miss flights. And it was crazy because she was crying over the fact she was missing the flight. And it may seem so trivial to someone that doesn't care about missing a flight or doesn't care about stuff like that. I so got her. She was in such pain that she missed a flight. Like, it reflected so poorly on who she was as this responsible person that would never, ever miss a flight. So let me just like pull back the curtain now back to the teacher. Like, for some people, submitting something late or coming late to a meeting or doing things like that are fundamentally wrong as part of who they are as a person. Like, coming late to a meeting would just feel horrendous for them. They would never forgive themselves for that. Or submitting in something late past the deadline. Like, how could I ever do something like that? I remember when I was in college, and I graduated a little over 3 years ago. So I was pregnant with my third then. And I knew that my due date was corresponding with a specific paper that had to be submitted. I submitted that paper 3 weeks in advance. And my professor was like, it's not due for another 3 weeks. I'm like, yeah, but I could go early and I don't want to submit it late. He's like, I'll understand if you submit it late if you have a baby. I said, having a baby is not a reason for me to submit something in late. But that's me. That's me at my core. I don't submit things late. That doesn't mean that someone else should take that on. And so as a director, one of the things you have to realize, and this is one of the strategies, is that are you projecting your own core belief system of latenesses and submitting things on time and punctuality on your people? Like, is that fundamentally part of who you are? And you've raised the standard to a certain way that's really, really hard to meet. So that's my first question for you guys. Are you someone that holds themselves to such a high standard of punctuality, deadlines, things like that, that subconsciously or completely not consciously, you've set the standard in this kind of way? So let me know in the comments. Totally relate. Okay, awesome. Who else do we have here? Awesome, Lacey. Thanks for sharing. Yeah. Oh, hey, Sink. Yeah, I don't want to be talking about documentation. That's like, this is a totally separate topic. Documentation, it's just, documentation runs in a totally separate department of competency level, of the clarity, of the vision of the school. A lot of times directors want documentation. They don't really understand what they want. Like, documentation has so many different levels. Like, this is, yeah, it's not, it's a totally different thing. So Paula says, yeah, I totally do this. not just on deadlines, too many things going through my mind right now of my own expectation. Yeah, because we hold ourselves to a certain standard. I think that's essential in our field to be that way. Yeah, so again, we hold ourselves to a certain standard, but it's very difficult not to project that standard onto your team and onto your people. That doesn't mean that you don't have expectations, right? And that doesn't mean that you don't have policies and standards in your school, 100%. But take a minute to reflect, not even a minute, take more than a minute and really reflect and say, do I have a standard that's a drop too high? And maybe I need to lower the standard in the school of what meeting an expectation is, of what meeting a deadline means. Am I giving enough of that leeway? Maybe I don't do that for myself personally because I hold myself to a higher bar. But am I holding the bar too high? I find that to be one of the biggest challenges. Yeah, I'm by nature a procrastinator. I realize that if I don't model flow through it, I can never ask those things of others. Yeah, so again, we all have things that we're going to struggle with. No one is perfect, and everyone has their times when they're just like all over the place and whatever it is. Totally. But my question is more about like, so yeah, so you're kind of the opposite. So that's not your specific struggle, right? But again, like that's why, you know, we have, you know, people on all ends here. Might need to lower the expectation, but also think I need to be very clear on what the expectation is. Yes. So this brings me into the second step is number one, the self-awareness. Are you holding the bar too high? The second thing is that, are you clear enough about the deadline? Okay. In our head, we have absolute clarity of what we want, right? So we have absolute clarity that we want to be out of the door by 7:30 p.m. Okay. Do the people that are going out the door at 7:30 p.m. with us also have absolute clarity on the fact that 7:30 is the time that you want to be sitting in the cab, okay? Not starting to take a shower, not starting to get ready. That's when you want to be in the Uber, like 7:30 in the Uber. So are you really setting that expectation clear enough to your people, okay? Again, you have all different kinds of people on your team. I'm giving an example of the Uber, but like, you know, the expectation of submitting something on time. So I'm going to give a specific example here. Let's say you have to submit papers for parent conferences that are coming up, right? And the teachers have to submit a certain report or they have to submit something in. Are you breaking down the steps that are involved in getting that job done, okay? Just because you naturally break things down in your head and work backwards, like for example, I'll go back to the Uber example, right? So let's say 7:30, I know I want to be in that Uber, right? So in my head, I work backwards. If 7:30, I want to be in the Uber, okay, and I need all my kids to be sleeping, what time do I need to get into the shower? What time do I need to start makeup? What time do I need to pick my outfit? What time do I need to call the babysitter here for, give or take that she might be a couple minutes late? Granted that there's sometimes traffic coming to our side of town at that time. What time do I need to tell her to come? Do I need to tell her to come earlier? Do I need to give her specific instructions? Is there any medication that I need to leave? Is there any specific phone numbers? Is she a new babysitter? Like, I'm ringing all those things up in my head. Why? Because that's the way my brain is wired. I'm thinking backwards right away of every single possible thing, planning the unplanned. Okay? So I know how much time I need to be in that Uber at 7:30. Not everyone's like that. When they say Uber at 7:30, they're like, oh, okay, I just need to like jump into the shower and, you know, put on my clothes, right? And then, so they start getting ready at 7:15 and then it's like 7:25. It's like, oh my God, I totally forgot. I was supposed to put on makeup and I didn't realize I don't have pantyhose. Oh, so now I need to find a new dress. Okay, but that dress is in the cleaners. Now I need to find something else to wear. But that dress, I can't wear those shoes because it's too cold outside. I don't have anything to wear. Oh my God, let me text my neighbor. Like, can I borrow something? Like, and all of a sudden, crisis! When the Uber's coming in 5 minutes and you planned this event months ago, like you knew you were supposed to be ready for 7:30, but you don't plan all these things like that. And that's one of the things about the leader. This brings me into my next strategy is that the clarity of expectation is not so much the clarity of the expectation, but more, are you breaking down those steps for the people? So when the teacher has to submit in the paper, Are you breaking down all the steps that happen before she submits in that paper? The observation she has to do, the first draft of documentation, the typing up on the computer, the sending it as an email attachment, the date it has to be submitted by, the time it needs to be submitted by, and then walking them through that process, because that is going to be one of the biggest keys in helping your staff meet their deadlines. So let me get into the comments here. So Sang says, in addressing certain concerns during staff meetings, we have this RAID thing. It means recognize, analyze, I forgot the rest. Let us know, Sang, sounds cool. Lacey, where's the in-between? We do need certain things due, but how to actually get those slackers to understand that a deadline is important. Yeah, Lacey, that specific question, we're actually gonna be answering in the October Inner Circle Proactive Training. So you are in luck because I'm going to be answering that question since it's a big one. But anyways, let's bring everything in here full circle. So we started off with just understanding context. Who are the early childhood educators, the teachers, why they're struggling with meeting deadlines. The first strategy was self-evaluation, understanding, is your standard too high? Do you need to lower the expectation? The second thing is getting clarity on what your expectation actually is. Do you want it submitted through email? Do you want it submitted through a piece of paper? Do you want it done this way? Is there a specific time? Does anyone need to be CC'd on the email? Does, you know, all those different steps that are in between, right? And then the third thing is, are you taking the time to really break down, like with executive functioning skills, really scaffold the whole thing down for the teacher? Are you really taking the time to do that? Okay, so again, this is just, you know, getting started in that kind of way. I actually sent out an email last week, a couple days ago, I don't remember, but I am opening up my calendar one more time before I have a baby. Having a baby in a couple of weeks, God willing. Very excited. And I'm opening up my calendar one more time for one-on-one conversations with directors. It's called the Directors That Lead Strategy Session. So if you've never had a chance to talk to me one-on-one and you're a director and you're not part of the inner circle and you want to talk to me one-on-one, please private message me and we'll set up a time to chat together about goals, your deadlines, expectations, teacher accountability, just different things that you're struggling with in your school right now. I'd love to get a chance to chat with you. We had a bunch of new people here saying I've never had a chance to chat with you. I'd love to have a chance, and Paula and a bunch of other people came in here as well. Chris and Chris Carroll was in here and a bunch of other people. And I know a bunch of people are gonna watch the replay as well. We hadn't had a chance to talk one-on-one. Send me a private message, send me an email. Let me know that you want to have a chat and I will send you a link to my calendar. That's a wrap. As you log out, one of our biggest takeaways and action steps that we always have at every single Facebook Live is let me know what you're committing to. So what's that one action step that you're going to be doing tomorrow morning as you get back into your schools? So let me know in the comments as you sign out for the night. Okay, so breaking down the tasks for the teachers, love that. Outline the steps the teachers need to get to do ahead of time. Paula says, clarity of expectations, a good tool for me to put into place. Awesome. Jennifer says, be aware of my own expectations and be sure that I'm clear of what my expectations will be for the staff. Clarity of expectations. Awesome. All right. Ladies, thank you so much. Again, if you're watching the replay, just make sure that you are committing to something when you sign out as well. And I look forward to seeing you all in the Facebook group. We got some awesome, amazing stuff coming up in the next couple weeks. So stay tuned in the Facebook group because it's going to be awesome. All right, you're welcome, Paula. Chris Cara says clarity. Awesome. Devorah says just measure teacher and ask her to identify which awesome. Yeah, Devorah, I'd also actually have that as a face-to-face conversation. Just because it seems like it's a little nuanced and you would want to see more of her eyes and her body language in that conversation. But again, you could private message me, Devorah, we could go into that. You're so welcome, Sang, and Jennifer, you're so welcome. All right, ladies, all the best. Have a great night. Take care. Bye-bye.